The walls are closing in on Arne Slot and Eddie Howe. Heroes just last summer, lauded by the pundits, tipped for greatness. Sign up for the football newsletter. Thank you. Arne Slot was on cloud nine last May after guiding Liverpool to the Premier League title credit. GETTY. So was Eddie Howe after ending Newcastle's 56-year trophy drought last MarchCredit. GETTY. Now they are both sliding increasingly towards becoming managerial zeros. February making them shiver with every paper that's delivered, to paraphrase Don McLean. As summer turned to autumn, they scrapped for damaging weeks over a player who is on the pitch for neither of them for now. And the increasing likelihood is that their salvation may depend on winning the Champions League, as it's the only way of being in it next season. Read more football news. Like Slot on Merseyside after delivering the Prem crown in his debut season, Howe was fated on Tyneside after ending Newcastle's trophy curse at Wembley. Yet now they feel united only in misery and doubt, their authority waning, the fans turning, a sense of doom hanging in the air. Harsh though it might seem to pin responsibility on Alexander Isak, the Swedish striker, 26, is a contributory factor and element in both scenarios. The determination of Isak to quit Toon for the Kop undermined Howe's preparations, creating a mood of discontent and anger. Not helped when eventual replacement Yoane Wissa, 29, turned up crocked for 5 months. Most read in football. Sun Vegas welcome offer. Get £50 bonus when you join. Arne Slot has overseen a torrid season for the defending Premier League champions. Credit. Reuters. Toon boss Eddie Howe is also under mounting pressure at St James's Park. Yet that fallout hurt the Reds, too, as Isak pitched up at Anfield nowhere near fit to play. The British record signing was supposed to be the spearhead of Slot's new-look side, a £426 million refit, building from a position of strength. It hasn't worked out that way. Just 10 starts and 3 goals and now out for at least another month after his fractured leg at Spurs. The Mo Salah storm, Slot standing up to the Egyptian and bringing him to heel, appeared to be a relaunch after the Reds had lost 9 out of 12 in all competitions from the end of September. There is deep understanding, too, that the entire season has taken place under the shadow of tragedy. The impact of Diogo Jota's tragic death on the entire Liverpool dressing room cannot be understated. A reaction was inevitable, but football is a relentless beast. You cannot call a timeout to reset, let alone grieve. Liverpool have picked up just 7 points from 7 Prem games in 2026. They were wretched in the first half against Manchester City and are now 4 points adrift of that likely 5th Champions League spot, behind a resurgent Manchester United and improving Che. They were wretched in the first half against Manchester City and are now 4 points adrift of that likely 5th Champions League spot, behind a resurgent Manchester United and improving Chelsea. Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz have had their moments, but neither flourished on Sunday. Salah, again, flattered to deceive. Maybe they should have cashed in on the Saudi interest? Liverpool have picked up 7 points from a possible 21 this year. Credit. GETTY. Alexander Isak joined the struggling Reds from Newcastle, who he well and truly left on the lurch. Credit. EPA. Equally critically, that late collapse was symptomatic of much of the campaign. Liverpool might have been resembling Harry Houdini with their series of early season escape acts. Since that good fortune turned against them at Crystal Palace in late September, the 90th minute mark has been a torment for them. Erling Haaland's penalty at the weekend represented the sixth occasion this season they have dropped points in added time. And things like that mean the clock is ticking for the manager. Especially when Kop legend Xabi Alonso is waiting in the wings. Not that the Toon boss is in much better shape. Saturday's 3-2 home defeat by Brentford means Howe's Carabao Cup heroes have managed one win in 8 in all competitions. They are without a Prem victory since a remarkable extra-time comeback against Leeds on January 7. While the journey time to Karabag next week should prove more taxing than the 2 legs of football against the Azerbaijan side, Newcastle would then face Chelsea or Barcelona in the last 16. They would not be favourites, of course. Howe's plight might be eased tonight by a visit to Dr. Tottenham. Thomas Frank's side have ended long winless runs for both Bournemouth and West Ham in recent weeks, and nearly did the same for Burnley. And unlike Slot, Howe's potential replacement has not already been identified by their fans, who have started to turn in numbers. Things can change, of course. Glory in the Champions League final in Budapest for either of them in May would certainly represent a transformation. Yet this feels like the start of the endgame for both. The wheel turns mesmerizingly fast. Kop legend Xabi Alonso could potentially replace Arne Slot. Credit. Getty. We can't get shirty. The ref got it right. Craig Pawson faced plenty of stick for ruling out that Ryan Cherky trundler from halfway in the final seconds at Anfield. While few might have really complained had it stood, Pawson would have been hauled over the coals for ignoring the laws. Yes, it felt like the ultimate in VAR spoil sports. Erling Haaland would have been in front of Dominic Szoboszlai, rather than chasing him, had he not had his shirt pulled off his back. But Haaland's revenge act meant Szoboszlai could not prevent the ball going into Liverpool's net. VAR had to intervene. Sometimes, even when they are right, like Pawson, refs are wrong. And it's really not their fault. Erling Haaland's foul on Dominic Szoboszlai led to the ruling out of Ryan Cherky's goal. Credit. Getty. Romero red missed. Christian Romero looked in disbelief at ref Michael Oliver when he saw red for a shocker on Casemiro at Old Trafford on Saturday. For a man who called out the Spurs board a few days earlier, cutting his own side off at the knees was hardly the smart play. Romero may feel he is targeted, and after Virgil van Dijk only got a yellow for his scythe on Erling Haaland, you do wonder if different standards apply. At the same time, it's hard to believe Argentina star Romero would have made the same tackle wearing the blue and white stripes of his homeland. Still, a 4-game ban when the matches are coming thick and fast will leave the Spurs skipper with more in the tank for the World Cup. Christian Romero was sent off for a horror tackle on Casemiro. Credit. EPA. Cunning as a fox. Leicester spent 3 years arguing that neither the Premier League nor EFL had the right to punish them for financial breaches as they moved between the competitions every summer. But to then claim they only deserved a fine and should get credit for exceptional cooperation was the height of chutzpah. Lawyers will argue black as white if it serves their purposes. At last, a glaring loophole has been closed. The Foxes are lucky the total sanction is a 6-point deduction this season, and no fine. At least the Leicester fans get it, even if owner Top Siwatan Aprapa doesn't. Leicester City have been slapped with a 6-point points deduction credit. Getty. He's so exciting. Contests that pit men against boys normally end only one way. But not Friday's World Under-19 cricket final in Zimbabwe. England, led superbly by Somerset's Thomas Roux, crushed all 6 rivals before facing an Indian schoolboy genius. Vaibhav Suryavanshi doesn't turn 15 until next month, but his 175 off 80 balls, with 15 sixes and as many fours, pretty much finished it in 25 overs. No wonder he scored his first IPL ton only a month past his 14th birthday last year. Tendulkar, Kohli and next Suryavanshi. Watch out, the boss baby could do this for 25 years. Vaibhav Suryavanshi battled brilliantly against England in India's World Under-19 cricket final in Zimbabwe. Credit. Getty. Rip the Super League. Here Leith the Super League 2021 to 2026. Born on a Sunday in April. Placed into an induced coma by the biggest fan backlash of all time 3 days later. Recommended stories. Put out of its misery by Barcelona withdrawing on Saturday, leaving Real Madrid, of course, alone. A scheme of pure greed. Rest in pieces. Comments.